Okay, for this curl method wreath, we're going to be starting with 2 rolls of 10 yards of mesh. I'm going to be using a 10-inch round sign I made here at Festive Creations by Stephanie. I'm also going to be using a 15-inch elevated work frame. This is metallic green, and as you can see, I have a lot of various Christmas ornaments off to the side, and I'll be using those as embellishments as we go along. Some additional tools that we're going to use are my favorite Fisker scissors, maybe some wire cutters, my mesh roller cutter. You don't have to have that, but you can use scissors. I'm going to need some pipe cleaners, my DAP Rapid Fuse glue, and couple of more things I did not mention right then are some cable tie mounts. So I added just a spot of that DAP Rapid Fuse glue and added some cable tie mounts right over the spots. And so now I can add pipe cleaners to those 4 mounts. I do this at the beginning because that allows that glue to curate and set up just set up while I do the rest of my designs. So now I'm going to take those 2 rolls of mesh, and again, they're 10-inch by 10 yard. You can use whatever mesh you want. You can use a variety. Yes, it might be a little tough to open it. And I stack them right on top of each other. So I'm going to cut both of them at the same time to save a little time here. And I'm going to weigh it down with my wire cutters. I do use the wire cutters for other things. And we're going to cut those at 20 inches. So we're going to need 18 cuts at 20 inches times 2. So a total of 36 curls. 36 curls when we get done, and those curls will be 20 inches long. All right, let's see what we do. Next, we're going to take that wreath frame and open up those twist ties before we start curling our mesh. So you'll notice that I'm taking that 20-inch piece of mesh and making a curl out of it. We're actually going to put 2 curls in each twist tie. So I'm going to cross them over each other, and we're going to put them in each twist tie. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of how I do this. Crisscross them, put them in a twist tie. We're going to go all the way around the bottom with this technique, but I also want to add on that you can add embellishments. So I actually grabbed some red flex tubing and just wanted to show you how I want you to be creative when you make your own designs. Take that flex tubing. I used a 24-inch piece and I made a little bow out of it, and I added it right in there with that curl. So what I ended up doing was doing 1 flex tubing every other curl. So I ended up adding 9 bow flex tubing. I made them into a shape of a bow to every curl or every other curl of the frame. Now that we're done with the bottom row, we had 10 on the bottom row, and now we're going to finish the final 8 around the top row. I do alternate so that that flex tubing isn't right next to a flex tubing bow on the bottom row. I try to alternate them, but you do what's good for you. I want you to be creative. All right, so I'm going to do a slow motion here. I did 24 inches, shaped it into a bow, placed it right on top of that crisscrossed tubing, or mesh. I'm going to place that right in there. One key thing though is when you're adding these to the frame, you want to make sure that they're pushed right up against the frame. If there's space in between your curls and the frame, it will loosen up over time. So I'm just kind of showing you how full the base is. If you see a little hole, don't worry about it. I'm going to show you a little trick here. And not really a little trick, but I'm going to show you how this is going to turn out here in just a moment, okay? So you can obviously maneuver your mesh around too. So now let's add that 10-inch metal sign. As I said, we make those at Festive Creations by Stephanie. And I'm just feeding that pipe cleaner through the mesh and attaching it to the wire frame from behind. Anytime you can find a crossbar to attach it to, please do so. And you want to make sure it's snug. It's not jiggling all over the place. It doesn't have to be so tight that it's pushing your mesh completely flat. You just want it snug. Now let's grab those ornaments. How fun! So this wreath does not have any ribbon. But I want to point out that I take those little silver or attachments off the top of the ornaments. So from experience, I will tell you, they will disintegrate over time. They will come loose over time. So I just get rid of them. And then I put glue, hot glue, right there on top of that hole. And then I add that ornament right on a wreath twist tie. So I put the twist tie inside of the ornament and with the glue, and this secures it to my wreath. And again, I randomly do this. I kind of do one side with green and then go the opposite side with green, red, opposite side with red. So I just kind of like go back and forth one half at a time. But again, I want you to use your creative eye and do what's great for you. Look at how pretty this is turning out already, and using that variety of different bows, textures, not bows, but ornaments. So you notice I've got glitter and shiny and muted, and so it just really adds to the fun of this wreath. I hope you enjoyed this video on how I make my curl method no ribbon mesh wreath using that 15-inch frame. And of course, all the products came from Festive Creations by Stephanie, except the ornaments. I think I got those at Hobby Lobby. So have fun. Go create. I know you guys like to see the back too, so I wanted to show you the back. And of course, as always, follow me. And I can't wait to see what you create. Thanks, friends.